Speaking Myanmar, lessons for English-speaking learners. The particles for coming from and going to people. In this lesson, you'll learn the particle to use when a person or a thing is going to or coming from someone, a person, not a place. You'll learn what it looks like and how to pronounce it. You'll also learn where it fits into a sentence, and you'll learn when you need to add a second particle to give the correct meaning. Now, in a previous lesson, I discussed two particles used to indicate you're coming from or going to some place. The first is the particle ka or ga. It indicates coming from some place. And we use sentences like, he came from the store. This is my friend from Malaysia. Or the question, where are you coming from? The second particle we discussed was used for going to some place. Go or go. We used it in sentences like, they went to Africa. Or where are you going, when the word to is implied. But in all of these examples, it's a place someone is coming from or going to. So now what if something comes from or goes to a person instead of a place? For instance, I will send these flowers to my wife. Or I will visit my uncle, where to is implied in that sentence. I received an email from my father. Or I received a gift from my friend. Well, you're going to need to use a different particle now, and the particle looks like this, and it's pronounced see. It indicates movement from or to a person. So let's see how to use it in these sentences. The first sentence I'll use is, I will send these flowers to my wife. Now the flowers are going to my wife, so I need to use the see particle. But where do you put it? You would say, Di panduego genosini si pome. These flowers, my wife to send will. Now notice the particle is placed in the same location as the ka and go particles, after the noun. In this case, the person it's being sent to. So the next example is, I will visit my uncle, where the word to is implied. Now that's interesting because when Myanmar natives are learning English, they often include the word to in a sentence like that. They'll say, I will visit to someone. So in Myanmar, you would say, Jano ule si tuale me. My uncle to go visit Will. But now let's look how to say something is coming from someone. Now, if we want to say that something has come from someone, we have to combine two particles. But it's not that difficult because you're going to use the particle you learned for coming from some place. Ga. So it would be si ga. For instance, in this sentence, I received an email from my father. The email came from a person, my father. So you would say, Jano apesiga email yare. My father from email received. Once again, that particle combination follows the noun or the person, my father. In the next example, I'll use the sentence, I received a gift from my friend. So I'd say, Jano Tingajian Siga Lasang Yare. My friend from gift received. I think that's pretty straightforward. Now let's do a brief review. So to review this lesson, when something or someone is coming from or going to a person, not a place, you use the particle see. And this is what it looks like. That particle is placed right after the person that something is moving towards or away from. Now, when going to someone, you'll only need this one particle. But if it's coming from a person, it's combined with a second particle and pronounced siga. And that finishes this lesson.